Hey Pokemon Champions, what's going on? It's Champion DarkBlaze here, and the Sword and Shield anime is the newest installment of the Pokemon anime, and it features Ash alongside his companion Gou as Gou tries to catch all the Pokemon in the world in order to find a Mew, and Ash aims to be a Pokemon Master entering the World Pokemon Championships. Last year, I made a video highlighting my 5 hopes at the time for the Sword and Shield anime, and 2 actually came true. We do have a new art style, we have great animation, and of course the story and development is really good so far. But I thought I would decide to update that video and bring you guys 5 new hopes for the Sword and Shield anime. Now, most of these are going to be relatively new, but one might be the same. With the show now airing every week, we can now make predictions about what's going to happen in the show and get our hopes up about things that may or may not happen. But of course, I want to know your thoughts, so leave down in the comments what you want to see in the Sword and Shield anime, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And with that being said, here are my 5 brand new hopes for the Sword and Shield anime.
Alright, I choose you!
So starting off this list, I'd like to talk about, again, the story and development in the Sword and Shield anime. Now so far the story is going pretty good, it's nothing too crazy, but nothing bad. However, there are things I'd like to point out that I want to see in the Sword and Shield anime, and mainly I want to focus on Koharu. Now Koharu, to this point, has been very shy, introverted, keeping to herself, and not including herself in the adventures of Ash and Gou. However, we did get one episode dedicated to her, where we find out that she actually has stress and pressure from her peers. She is expected to pursue the paths that her parents took as well, but that's not really what she wants to do. She actually doesn't even know what she wants to do. And this reminds me of a certain someone, meaning Serena. Serena was pressured not by her peers, but by her own mother to be a Rhyhorn racer. And Serena didn't even know what she wanted to do. She just knew she didn't want to be a Rhyhorn racer. And I think this parallel to Serena makes Koharu a bit more interesting, as in the beginning she really didn't do much of anything. But I feel like Koharu is getting the Sun and Moon treatment. She gets one episode dedicated to her early on, but not much is being done with her. She's taking a long time to get some good development. And I don't want this to happen to Koharu. This is a new series. I don't want a repeat of bad development in Sun and Moon in the Sword and Shield anime. I want Koharu to get the development she deserves and be part of Ash and Gou's adventure. I want her to cheer on Gou catching all the Pokemon, cheer on Ash as he battles against the champions of the world in the World Championships. So that's one small hope I have for the story, but what else I want to see happen with the story is I want to see Gou complete one of the Pokedexes in the National Dex. Now of course, completing the Pokedex has always been talked about since the beginning of Pokemon, as you aim to catch all the Pokemon in the world. And that goal continues from generation to generation, and if you win you get a certificate or you get the shiny charm and you can maybe unlock a few more features. But with Gou so sought on catching all the Pokemon to find Mew, I really want to see him achieve that goal. I want him to catch all the Pokemon in one particular Pokedex, that being the Kanto Pokedex. Seeing as how the Sword and Shield anime is set in the Kanto region, even though I wish it was more set in Galar, it's set in Kanto, and we see Gou catching a ton of Kanto Pokemon. So far he has caught 37 Pokemon out of the 800 plus Pokemon that exist, many of those being Kanto Pokemon. So he's got a good start already. Catching all the Pokemon in the Pokemon world has never really been talked about since the days of Gen 1 in the anime, where we saw Gary having 40 plus Pokemon by the time Ash only had 7. So seeing Gou complete the Pokedex I think would be a great callback to the original days of Pokemon, where completing the Pokedex was actually the easiest at the time. Now one more thing I do want to talk about is Ash, and Ash, I want him to get further to his goal of being a Pokemon Master. I want him in the top 8 in the Championship Cup, which I think is going to happen undoubtedly, but more of Ash will be brought up later in my other points. Segueing into my next argument, or hope rather I should say, is revolving around Gou and Mew. As I stated earlier, I want Gou to catch all the Pokemon in the Kanto Pokedex, since that's where the main story is taking place at the time. We are in Vermilion City in the Kanto region, and Gou is catching a lot of Kanto Pokemon and he wants wants to see Mew. So what I want to happen is I want Gou to actually catch Mew. In one of the most recent episodes, at the time of recording this video, we had seen Mew save Ash and Gou from Team Rocket by transforming into a Lugia, when originally Team Rocket just showed a fake Lugia. So what I want to see is actually a connection keep growing and growing between Mew and Gou. It seems that Mew has already taken an interest in Gou by protecting them from Team Rocket. So hopefully that interest in Gou keeps growing and growing, and Gou can meet his goal of catching Mew. Maybe he has to catch all of the Kanto Pokemon first or encounter them all, and hopefully that is enough for Mew to reveal itself, and maybe Gou will actually catch Mew. Seeing as how Ash caught an Ultra Beast in Naganadel as well as a Mythical in Melmetal back in the Sun and Moon series, it is highly possible for more people to start catching mythical Pokemon in the Sword and Shield anime. So far, Ash right now, as the recording of this video, has Pikachu, Gengar, and Dragonite. He is rumored to get Lucario, and I think that is highly likely given Ash's past and the way this anime is going. But who's to say Gou cannot capture Mew? It'd be nice to see another Pokemon character, because we've seen them in the past such as with Tobias and Darkrai. I'd like to see a companion of Ash catch a mythical Pokemon, as we've already seen a connection between Malo and Shaman in the Sun and Moon series. So I think this could definitely happen again in the Sword and Shield anime. My third hope for the series is actually one of the most anticipated in the fanbase, and that's the premise of returning characters in the Sword and Shield anime. Now, so far at the time of this recording, we know for a fact Karina is to return in the series with her Lucario, specifically Mega Lucario coming back to the series. And with the return of Karina, this opens the door for many other characters to return. So who's to say other characters won't come back? We've already seen Lance come back, so Karina is the second character to make a return. So I think just more and more are slowly going to start coming back to the anime. And I have some people in mind that I think are likely to come back. Seeing as how we have the World Championship tournament that Ash is a part of, I definitely think other champions are going to come back, such as Cynthia, Steven, Diantha, Alder. I definitely think all of those characters are bound to come back. But other characters I do have in mind are some rivals and past companions, such as Richie, Paul, Alon, maybe even Tobias could come back. Many people want Ash to have a rematch against Tobias and beat his team again. Or beat his whole team, because we only saw Darkrai and Latios in that battle. But nonetheless, I think other characters are destined to come back in this anime at some point in time. They don't have to all come back at once. I think one at a time is a great way to integrate them into the show. They did Lance and got us hyped up. Now they're doing Karina and getting us even more hyped up. And I think this hype train is not gonna stop. So I definitely think a lot more characters are gonna start coming back, and I definitely want to see the champions and rivals make a comeback. My next hope, stemming from returning characters, is older Pokemon coming back. Now, the last time Ash did any challenge similar to the World Championships was back in the Battle Frontier. He was facing the toughest of the tough trainers and had to call back his old Pokemon just so he could defeat them. Charizard taking out Articuno, Pikachu defeating Regice. It took all of his old Pokemon, even Snorlax defeating Hariyama, to win all the Frontier symbols. And I think with this challenge, since it's not our traditional gym challenge, this World Championship is gonna require Ash to use his strongest Pokemon. At the time of this recording, Lycanroc is returned to make a return in the anime. So I think Ash is gonna need all of his past ace Pokemon, Charizard, Sceptile, Infernape, Ash Greninja, Lycanroc. He's gonna need all of his strong Pokemon back in order so he can beat the toughest of the tough if he wants to be able to battle Leon again. So I think all of his old Pokemon, or at least a far majority, are very likely to return. And I think once Ash is in the top 1,000 trainers, I think we're gonna start seeing more of his old Pokemon come back. Or at least when he enters the top 100. We'll see more of his old Pokemon come back, because he's going to need them to pull out these wins. And I think this is also heightened by the fact that Ash in this series has been catching nothing but fully evolved Pokemon. At the time of this video so far, he has Pikachu, Dragonite, and Gengar, fully evolved powerhouse Pokemon. He hasn't caught any first or second stage Pokemon, even though he's probably going to get a Riolu at the time of this recording, but it just shows that this championship tournament is more than meets the eye. He's going to need powerhouse Pokemon if he wants to come out on top. So I think older Pokemon coming back is a high possibility. Now, my final hope that also connects to older Pokemon coming back as well as returning characters is the possibility of rival rematches. As we all know, the premise of the World Championship is that the toughest trainers from around the world come back and enter in this tournament to see who exactly is the strongest. For the first time ever in the Pokemon anime, we have a definitive answer of who is the strongest Pokemon trainer, that being Leon from the Galar region, as he has been crowned the world champion after defeating Lance. And in every past series, Ash always says to any friend, companion, or rival, hey, let's battle again. One of the most noteworthy statements from him is when he says, let's battle again, to Paul after he leaves the Sinnoh League. We all want to see Ash battle old rivals again, specifically Richie, Sawyer, Alon, Paul, even Gary. We would love all of these people to come back and have rival rematches because we want to see how strong these trainers have gotten too. They would make for incredible matches to see how their teams have upgraded since we last saw them and to see how they would interact with each other. I think returning characters will bring about rival rematches. So rival rematches is probably my number one hope out of all of these for the Sword and Shield anime. So there we go, Pokemon Champions. Those are my top 5 new hopes for the Sword and Shield anime. Now, of course, none of these are guaranteed to happen, but I think the most likely so far is that we'll get more returning characters since we've already seen Lance and Karina. But what do you think about this list? Do you think any of my hopes are going to come true? But what are some of your hopes? Be sure to let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's talk about this anime and get hype and board the hype train. And until next time, Pokemon Champions, make sure you train hard, and I will catch you guys later.